Team 3D MJers, what is up? Coach Brad here, going to go over recovery. So, got my spreadsheets back. We're going to go over some training here and tell you how the recovery process is going. So, first of all, before I get into that, this, in my opinion, is, and we've said this before, this is arguably one of the hardest times of prep, but it's also a very, very important time of prep because this is going to kind of set your trajectory for your next competition. And I plan on doing this all again very soon, and at least in my opinion, what is very soon. So, got to set the trajectory right now. 3.5, 4 weeks from the competition, June 20th. That was the WNBF, INBF Muscle Mayhem. Here, as of today, I am recording this on the 14th. So you can see here 1, 2, 3. Today, specifically, what I'm going to recover is training. But as you can see from the competition weight of about 158, I immediately put on about 7 pounds. And then since that time, I put on another 2 pounds. Then, I don't know, you can probably see I'm wearing it pretty darn well. Okay. But more importantly, feeling tremendously better. Training is going really, really good. We're going to go over one session today, and I'm basically going to give you guys what my strategy is right now. So first of all, let's just kind of go over context. We're going to see right here, my volume is pretty darn low. Okay. So here's my range, 6 to 9 sets of lats, 6 to 9 sets of quadriceps, etc., etc. There's my range, right? Here's where I was right here. So you can see I'm down quite a bit on volume, right? 2 reasons for that. Number one, I'm gaining weight. So as long as I'm training, I am performing good and I'm doing it consistently. I am reclaiming any lost muscle that I may have lost. Okay. Number two, right here, you can see it's that time of year. We're going to be splitting, loading, stacking, carrying firewood again. Okay. So a lot of volume that I'm not getting in training is kind of being made up for by all of that activity, the very physical activity, a lot of resistance training. So that's the 2 pieces of context. Now, with that being said, number 3, kind of unwritten, right now my program is very, very high effort, which basically means I'm failing. I am going to failure on each and every set. And on top of that, my emphasis is trying to improve week upon week upon week. And in order to kind of record improvement, okay, I have to keep everything very, very consistent from the exercise to the load to the tempo to the range of motion. Everything has to be very, very consistent. That way I can have measurable, definitive, quantifiable, like undeniable improvement in performance if I'm either A, able to increase load a little bit, or B, get just a few more repetitions while all those other conditions are fixed and consistent. If I make improvements, that is an undeniable improvement in either strength or volume. You get the idea. So let's get into it. As I mentioned before, we're going to go over this session right here, this chest dominant session. Here's what I did last time. Decline barbell bench press. That little strain in my infraspinatus, it's improving. It's not quite perfect yet, but I can do the decline barbell bench press. Last time, 225 for 2 repetitions. That's my top set. Back down 190 to 8. Okay. This one I'm not failing. Most of my compound movements, as I go over these in the coming weeks, I'm not failing, but I'm pushing it pretty darn hard. Good effort. Lots of bang for the buck with lots of muscle groups being worked, but I'm not failing on there. So, how did I do this week? Basically, you can see the footage here. Set up the decline bench press. Got my warm-ups in. Sorry, the camera is not going to cooperate with me on this day. But here's the bottom line, okay? Got this set 225 for 3. Tempo was the same. Load was the same. ROM was the same. Slight improvement there, okay? Strip it down, okay? 190. Last time, 190 for 8. This time, 190 for 11, okay? Just 2 sets. You can see here, this is basically how I was doing it last week, okay? probably some different clothing, okay? A little bit more body weight on me now. Probably the reason more so than anything for the improvement, but improvement nonetheless. All right, just 2 sets. Moving on, pec deck, okay? We have 2 pec decks in our gym. I'm doing 1 set of each. So this is what I call the new pec deck, okay? And it's same thing. I'm doing this same tempo, same range of motion, same load, same settings. Everything is the same every single week, right? Last week, 100 pounds by 12 repetitions. Got a little note there, new. Okay. This week, I don't know if you're counting, but 13 repetitions, improvement with everything else fixed. Quantifiable, undeniable improvement while reaching failure. I cannot close those handles anymore. Okay. So then let's move on to the next one. The old pec deck that's jammed way back in the corner. Okay. Last week, 100 pounds, 14 repetitions. Okay. Went to failure, was not able to close those handles all the way, got basically the same performance, 100 by 14 repetitions. Okay. Went ahead and I tacked on an extra set. You can see I put it there in yellow. Normally I only do 2 sets. Did a second set on the old pec deck. There's some improvement right there, right? A little bit of progress, I guess you might say. All right. The cable upright row. You guys know how I love these cable upright rows right now. 31.5 pounds last time, 15 repetitions. If I get to the top end of my rep range, I'm going to use good old-fashioned double progression method. I'm going to go ahead and go up and load. So on that particular exercise, since I topped out at 15 repetitions, I went ahead and increased to 34.5. I got myself 13 repetitions. Again, 1 set, working to failure. Failure last time, failure this time. It'll be failure next week. It'll be failure on that 1 set until I decide to change up the programming. Pull down, neutral grip. My apologies. Forgive me. I do not have any footage of this exercise, but it's not a whole lot to look at. 130 pounds, same tempo, same pause on the eccentric, basically the same way that I always do everything's on pull downs, and no improvement. 130 pounds for 12 repetitions this week. Tricep cable press down. Same range of motion. I hate to beat a dead horse here, but everything's the same. Last time, 70 for 10 repetitions. Again, working to failure on all of these bodybuilding exercises. This week here, 70 by 11. 1 rep improvement.
Hybrids, the battery charges as you drive. Don't miss Honda's summer event with big savings on gas or hybrid, like the 2024 Honda Ridgeline, now with low 1.9% financing. Search your local Honda dealer. The doctor's office of accidental.
Lastly, hammer curls, 25-pound dumbbells, pause at the eccentric, alternating on the pinwheel hammer curls, pinwheel cross body curls, whatever you want to call them. Last time, 25 pounds for 12 repetitions. This time, 25 pounds for 13 repetitions. 1 rep of improvement, okay? And it's actual improvement because, again, I want to stress, I'm going to failure. I am going to failure each and every single time. No post-failure partials, okay? No, I got it, but just barely. I'm going to the repetition that I actually fail at. So if I failed with the everything being the same with 12 repetitions at 25 pounds last time, and I failed at 13 this time, improvement, Coach Brad is happy. I'm going to do that same approach for all of my training. It's going to be important just to kind of reiterate here my big compound movements. So RDLs, okay, low bar squat, even my pendulum squat here. I'm not going to go to failure on those. Okay, that would be kind of silly slash stupid. Plus, if you're going to an RPE 8, 2 reps in reserve, RPE 10, like 0 reps in reserve, you barely got it. That is a high amount of effort on those big compound movements. Those are good hypertrophic repetitions on all of those muscle groups that you are working. Okay. It's only the bodybuilding movements where I'm going to the failure repetition and I'm basically doing 1 set, 2 at most, done. All right. You can see here the volume last week. It was lowish, we'll say. But here is this week. You can see just a slight bit improvement in some things, right? Biceps, there's 12, there's 14. Previous to this, I'd never added sets. From the point that I stepped on stage and got back into the gym, I wasn't adding any sets. Now, like I did here, I just clicked off just an extra set of the old pec deck. Now I'll start adding sets randomly here and there. 3DMJers, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much for your support. Stay tuned. More recovery going to be coming. Some physique video. Yes, with the weight going back on. Future plans and what I would change and what I would do differently in the next prep that I didn't do or that I neglected to do this prep. All of those things, stay tuned. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.